My name is Ethan Cole. I'm 27, from Manchester, and this is the story I've never told anyone. I call it, My Boss's Wife Left Me a Note. Meet me after work. It started on a Thursday. Ordinary, gray, forgettable, until it wasn't. The office smelled like burnt coffee and printer ink, the usual soundtrack of keyboards clacking and muted conversations filling the air. I was halfway through revising a client report when she walked in. Clara, my boss's wife. She didn't come by often, maybe once every few months, always polished, always composed, the kind of woman who didn't just enter a room, but shifted it. Heads turned subtly, conversations paused. Even the light felt like it leaned toward her. That day, though, something was off. She wasn't dressed in her usual elegance. No heels, no sharp blazer, just a soft black top and jeans. Simple, but somehow more dangerous. More human, more real. She smiled at me. Not polite, not distant, personal. Ethan, she said, her voice low, almost careful. Could you help me with something? I stood up too quickly, nearly knocking my chair back. Yeah, of course. She walked over to my desk, slow, deliberate. I noticed the faint tremor in her hand as she placed a small folded note beside my laptop. Her fingers brushed mine. Electric. Read it later, she whispered. And just like that, she turned and left. No explanation, no hesitation, just gone. I stared at the note for what felt like hours, even though it couldn't have been more than a minute. My heart was doing something strange, like it couldn't decide whether to race or stop completely. This wasn't normal. Clara wasn't just anyone. She was his wife. Daniel Harper, my boss. The man who gave me my job when I had nothing. The man I owed everything to. And yet, my hand still moved. I opened the note. 3 seconds. That's all it took for my entire world to tilt. Meet me after work. 7 p.m. Don't tell anyone. No name. No explanation. Just that. I should have ignored it. Deleted it from my mind like a bad thought. Pretended it never happened. But I didn't. Because something inside me, something reckless, something curious, something dangerously human, wouldn't let me. The rest of the day blurred. I messed up emails. Missed deadlines. Answered questions I didn't hear properly. Even Daniel noticed. You all right, Ethan? He asked, leaning against my desk. I forced a smile. Yeah, just didn't sleep well. He nodded slowly, studying me longer than usual. Don't burn yourself out. You're one of the good ones. That hit harder than it should have. Guilt. Sharp. Immediate. Because I already knew. I was going to meet her. 7 p.m. came too fast. The office emptied out, one by one, until the silence felt heavy. I checked the note again. No location. Just trust. Or a trap. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. A message. Rooftop parking. Come alone. My chest tightened. This wasn't just a meeting. This was something else. Something bigger. Something I didn't understand yet. The rooftop parking lot was cold, the wind cutting through my shirt as I stepped out of the stairwell. The city lights flickered below, distant and indifferent. And there she was, standing near the edge. Clara, her hair moving gently with the wind, her silhouette framed against the dark sky. For a moment, I just stood there, watching her. She looked different, not composed, not in control, broken. I walked closer. Clara. She didn't turn immediately. When she finally did, her eyes, they weren't calm. They were afraid. You came, she said softly. I didn't understand the note, I replied. What's going on? She stepped toward me, close enough that I could see the faint redness around her eyes, like she'd been crying, or hadn't slept in days. Ethan, she said, her voice trembling just slightly. I need your help. With what? She hesitated. And that hesitation, that pause, it told me everything. Whatever this was, it wasn't simple. It wasn't safe. And it definitely wasn't something I could walk away from easily. Then she said something that made my stomach drop. Daniel isn't who you think he is. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was the only thing my brain could do. That's not something you just say, I replied. He's my boss, Clara. I see him every day. She stepped closer, her voice sharper now. No, you see the version he wants you to see. The wind picked up. Silence stretched between us. And then, she reached into her bag and pulled out a second envelope. Thicker, heavier, more dangerous. She placed it in my hand. If you open that, she said quietly, your life won't be the same again. I swallowed hard. Then why give it to me? Her eyes locked onto mine. Because you're the only one I trust. And in that moment, standing on that rooftop, with the city below us and secrets between us, I realized something terrifying. This wasn't just about her, or Daniel, or a note. This was the beginning of something I couldn't control, something that would pull me in, whether I wanted it or not. I didn't open it right away. That's the part one remember most clearly. Not the fear, not the cold wind cutting through my shirt, not even the way Clara was looking at me like I was her last lifeline. It was the hesitation. Because deep down, I already knew, once I crossed that line, there was no going back. "Open it," she said softly. Her voice wasn't commanding. It was tired, like she'd been carrying something too heavy for too long. I exhaled slowly and tore the edge of the envelope. Inside were photographs. At first glance, they didn't make sense, grainy images taken from a distance. Daniel, stepping out of a car late at night. Daniel, talking to someone in a dark alley. Daniel, handing over what looked like a thick envelope to a man whose face was half covered. This doesn't prove anything," I said, though my voice lacked conviction. "There's more," Clara replied. I pulled out a folded document. Bank statements. Large transfers. Repeated. Unusual. Amounts that didn't match anything I knew about the company. "Offshore accounts," she said quietly. "Money that doesn't belong to him." My chest tightened. "You're saying he's what?" "Laundering money." "I'm saying I don't know who I married." That hit harder than anything else. Because this wasn't just suspicion. This was fear. Real, shaking, dangerous fear. "Why me?" I asked, lowering the papers. "Why not the police? A lawyer? Anyone else?" She shook her head. "Because I don't know who I can trust anymore." Her eyes locked onto mine again. "And because you're close to him." I let out a bitter breath. "Close? I'm just his employee." "No," she said firmly. "You're more than that. He trusts you. He tells you things he wouldn't tell others." I thought about that. The late meetings. The sudden changes in schedule. The times he'd asked me to handle things without asking too many questions. Things I'd brushed off as normal. But now they didn't feel normal at all. "You want me to spy on him?" I said. "I want you to help me find the truth." "That's the same thing." "No," she whispered. "It's not." The wind howled louder, like the city itself was warning me. I looked at her, really looked this time. Not as my boss's wife. Not as some distant, untouchable figure. But as a woman who was scared and alone. And somehow, in the middle of all that chaos. Beautiful in a way that made things even more complicated. "This is dangerous," I said quietly. "I know. And if he finds out." "He won't," she cut in quickly. Then softer, "He can't." I should have said no. I should have handed the envelope back, walked away, and pretended none of this ever happened. But instead, I asked the one question that sealed everything. "What do you need me to do?" Her shoulders dropped slightly, like she'd been holding her breath waiting for that answer. "Just watch," she said. "Listen. Anything unusual. Meetings, calls, places he goes that don't make sense. Tell me. That's it." For now. I nodded slowly. But neither of us moved. The silence shifted. Changed. Because this wasn't just about secrets anymore. There was something else there. Something neither of us wanted to say out loud. "You shouldn't trust me this easily," I muttered. A faint, sad smile touched her lips. "I don't trust easily." "Then why?" She stepped closer. Too close. "Because when you look at people," she said quietly, "you actually see them." My heartbeat picked up. That's rare. For a moment, it felt like the world narrowed down to just us. No Daniel. No danger. No consequences. Just two people standing too close, sharing something they shouldn't. Her hand brushed mine again. This time, neither of us pulled away. "Clara," I started, but I didn't even know what I was going to say. Because whatever this was, it was already crossing a line. A car door slammed somewhere below. The sound snapped us back to reality. She stepped away instantly. "This stays between us," she said, her voice returning to that controlled calm. "Yeah," I replied, though it felt like I'd already lost control of something. "Burn the envelope after you memorize what's inside." I nodded. "And Ethan?" I looked at her. "Be careful." The next few days were different. Every conversation with Daniel felt layered. Every instruction carried weight. Every glance from him made me wonder. Does he know? I started noticing things I hadn't before. Late night calls he'd step outside to take. Meetings that weren't on the calendar. The way his tone would shift when certain names came up. And then, there was Friday. "Ethan," Daniel called from his office. My chest tightened instantly. "Yeah." "Close the door." That sentence alone was enough to make my pulse spike. I stepped inside, shutting the door behind me. He gestured for me to sit. Then he leaned back in his chair, studying me. Not casually, carefully. "You've been distracted lately," he said. Just a bit tired," I replied. He didn't smile, didn't nod, just kept looking at me, like he was waiting for something, or testing me. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. "I need you to do something for me tonight." I forced myself to stay calm. "What is it?" "It's simple," he said. "Pick up a package. No questions. No delays." My throat went dry. "Where?" He slid a piece of paper across the desk. An address. Unfamiliar. Isolated. And suddenly, everything Clara had said didn't feel like paranoia anymore. It felt real. Too real. I looked back up at him, and for the first time, I saw it. Not the boss I respected, not the man I trusted, but something else. Something colder, hidden beneath the surface. "You trust me, right?" he asked. There was a pause. A long one. Too long. "Of course," I said. But even as the words left my mouth, I knew I was already in deeper than I ever planned. That night, as I stood outside that address, holding my phone, Clara's number ready to dial, I realized something terrifying. This wasn't just about uncovering the truth anymore. It was about survival. The building was silent. Too silent. I stood there, staring at the door, my pulse hammering in my ears. This was the moment. Walk away, or step in and lose whatever normal life I had left. I knocked. A man opened the door just enough to study me. No smile. No words. "I'm here for the package," I said. He looked past me, then handed over a small, sealed box. Heavy. No questions asked. No answers given. Back in my car, my hands trembled. I should have taken it straight to Daniel. Instead, I called Clara. "I have it," I whispered. "Don't give it to him," she said instantly. "Meet me." We met in an empty parking lot. Under flickering lights, I handed her the box. She opened it slowly. Inside, cash, stacks of it, and beneath, a flash drive. Her breath caught. "This is it." "Proof?" I asked. She nodded. Enough to end everything. For a second, we just stood there. Relief, fear, and something deeper between us. "I can go to the police," she said softly. I looked at her. "You should. And you?" That question lingered. Because the truth was, I'd already changed. "I think," I said quietly, "some stories aren't about saving people, they're about saving yourself." Weeks later, Daniel was gone. Investigations. Charges. Silence. The office moved on. But I didn't. Because sometimes I still think about that night. About Clara. About how close we came to something dangerous and real. Life taught me something I'll never forget. Not every connection is meant to last. Some people enter your life to wake you up, to show you truth, risk, and who you really are under pressure. And then, they disappear, leaving behind a version of you that can never go back.